My gardenias are in bloom, and I wanted to show you my method on how you can make your own DIY enfleurage. So an enfleurage is basically an extraction of the fragrance and essential oils in delicate flowers. You can make an enfleurage out of anything fragrant that you got growing around your property. Lilacs, lavender, lilies, magnolia, roses, jasmine, anything that you want to capture that essence of, you can turn into an enfleurage. And with that DIY enfleurage, you can make your own DIY skincare, like solid perfumes, a body lotion, body butter, sugar scrubs, all that kind of stuff. For the main oil base, I'm going to be using coconut oil because coconut oil is solid at room temperature, and it's what I use in all of my DIY skincare. Keep in mind that unrefined coconut oil does have a coconut fragrance, so whatever fragrance you are capturing is going to kind of be a hybrid. So today we're going to be making like a coconut gardenia enfleurage, and I don't hate it. So if you don't want any sort of coconut fragrance, look for refined or deodorized coconut oil. I would highly recommend adding some vitamin E into your enfleurage as a preservative. You can just get a few capsules of vitamin E and squeeze them into your enfleurage, but just make sure your oil base is in a liquid state at the time that you add your vitamin E. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Whitney and I help you DIY a cozy home. So if you like videos like this, give it a big thumbs up and consider subscribing and checking out some of my other videos because you probably like those too. All right, let's get into this. When you're collecting your flowers, try to do it early morning and try to get ones that have just kind of opened up for like a day or so. We're gonna skip this one. See how it's a little bit yellow? It's kind of oxidized. We don't wanna add that in. And this one is not ready yet. We're gonna wait for this to fully open. So that one will probably be ready tomorrow. This one is perfect. This one, we're gonna skip that one. This one's perfect. Definitely not anything that's dried because there's gonna be no fragrance in there. And then now you can see the kind of the difference. This one is oxidized, this one is not. They're not gonna go with this one. We are gonna grab this guy. These smell so good. Now I'm just picking this much. We are gonna do this a few times. So make sure you leave the ones that are still pretty new on there so you have more to pick from over the next couple days. We'll take this inside and get started. Now that we have our flowers gathered, we are going to separate anything that is green from the petals. So I'm just kind of pinching off the bottom part. I'm just putting the petals in the bowl. To release a little bit more of that fragrance, we're gonna rip up our petals to kind of activate all of that fragrance. We're gonna add our petals to whatever sort of jar or bowl that we're gonna be using to steep our petals in. A mason jar is a really good choice because you can just kind of gently put a lid on there. If you're using a bowl, you can gently cover it with a tea towel or some cheesecloth, just to make sure no bugs or anything gets in there. Okay, so I'm just gonna slightly kind of tamp down my flowers, not pack them in, but just kind of tamp them down a little bit. And I'm gonna be using coconut oil. You can use any sort of carrier oil. I like coconut oil. You can use jojoba oil, grapeseed oil, sweet almond oil, anything like that. So I'm gonna be using coconut oil, and mine is already melty because it's hot in here. So I'm just gonna pour oil until it covers my flowers. Set the lid on it to keep any sort of bugs or dust out. I'm not gonna screw it tight because we do need a little bit of airflow in there, but just gonna set the lid right on top. We're gonna leave this for 12 hours and we're gonna do it again. Our gardenia petals have been soaking in here overnight. So we are going to strain out the oil from the petals. You can use like a fine mesh strainer. I don't have one of those. So I'm gonna be using one of these guys. Now for this part, you can use cheesecloth. I'm just gonna use a paper towel, and we are going to kind of squeeze out the remainder of the oil from the petals. Day 2, we're collecting another batch of flowers. Now with my second batch of petals, I'm going to do the same exact thing that I did with the first batch. I'm going to break them apart, take off any sort of the green, and put them back into the jar. Then we're going to pour our oil we just strained over the fresh petals. And then we're gonna let this sit for another 12 hours and do it again. Now, once you've reached your desired amount of fragrance, I've done this 4 times, I'm going to bottle it up. Now, it would be best to have bottles that are dark in color so the sun doesn't harm the oil, but I don't have dark colored bottles. I have these little guys. I'm going to put these in a cool place so they can re-solidify. It feels so nice on the skin and it smells amazing.